I guess, where do I begin? Well, after the universe got reset, I turned into a woman. I mean, it's not that big a change, but still. After all that settled down, I figured I should start reviewing again. I guess that's where this whole story begins. For plushy shy.
Online and ready to go, Mom.
Whiteboard, it's been 3 weeks. Can you stop calling me ma'am? It's getting old, man.
Well, you're the one who doesn't seem concerned that you're a woman.
It's not really weird, it's just kind of something that happened in my life. It didn't change everything about me.
Really? Because this seems like it should be a bigger deal.
I mean, if it doesn't bother me, then why should it bother everybody else? I mean, if I'm happy with it, then we should just let it go, okay?
Fair point. Well, are you ready to get back to work?
Where's Plushy Robin? I haven't seen him since the funeral.
He's been coming in and out since then. Last time I saw him, he told me to ask you to give him some space for a while.
Let's give the kid a little time to himself. What am I taking a look at this week?
The episode to review is Celestial Advice, the premiere of Season 7.
Alrighty. Hello everybody, my name is Robin0928, and welcome to My Little Robin Reviewing His Magic Season 5. We're taking a look at the good, the bad, and what we think overall in Celestial Advice. Well, this might be the best shakeup for a season premiere. I mean, while I love some episodes where there's a giant threat to Equestria, but at the same time, I also have to appreciate these smaller, more personal stories. And this was an amazingly personal story to start off a season. We got a whole episode where it focuses mostly on Celestia and Twilight's relationship. And speaking of these two, that might have been their best appearance in the entire series. While Celestia wasn't exercising her trolling muscles, there were some really genuine moments in this episode. And Twilight, while I have been complaining about her for the last few reviews, was also in some pretty top form. It's also been a while since we had a Paranoid Twilight episode, and this one was pretty okay. There was some real feeling to her worry, and while some of the prediction scenes were a bit forced, there were so many nice moments of Twi worrying about the future of her student.
Moving right along.
I'm also a huge fan of the world building and amount of returning characters in this episode. In fact, it was cool to see the
Suicide Squad.
from the finale finally get rewarded for their actions. It's a small gesture, but one I've wanted to see for a while. I mean, it's cool to have a Star Wars style medal ceremony for the heroes, and without even having to have them physically in the episode, we got to see more of the new changeling civilization under Thorax and how the dragons are doing with Ember as queen. I don't need a whole episode to build the universe, just small bits of development with a lot of humor are awesome for a critic like me. Speaking of the humor, this episode had surprisingly a lot of it. For the jokes that didn't land, like the dude bro Ember bit, there was another instance of Celestia being sassy and you completely forget the bad jokes. Finally, is it me, or have the changeling designs had another shift? I mean, they look pretty okay in this episode. They still stand out like a sore thumb, but it looks like they made the puppets a little darker in this episode. They aren't flawless, but they blend into the environments more in this outing. Now let's enter into another astral projection and look at the bad things this episode could have gotten into. Yeah, that was, I guess that one was a little forced. Speaking of force, let me tell you about the plot of this episode. I mean, this was a concept I really liked in theory. Twilight struggling as the future of her pupil is an interesting idea for an episode, and using the season 6 finale as a launching point for this introspection is a great use of continuity. But using Discord to start this ball rolling and adding a ticking clock element was pretty stupid. Even having Discord's first scene leading into Twilight doubting herself would have been fine, but the continued use of Discord to add more and more pointless reminders of the doubt was pretty annoying. We could have cut these scenes and had more time with Twilight and Celestia talking about what to do, or a more fleshed out ceremony scene with less pointless jokes. Another minor thing is that while I appreciate Twilight worrying about her student, it's really weird to see a character we've spent 6 seasons following regressing to a point similar to what we would have seen back in season 2. I mean, I can accept her getting hit by the paranoia stick, but there's a limit to when it just becomes character regressions. I also feel like while the changeling designs got a much needed darkening, most of the episode's colors felt flat, and the most interesting parts of the episode visually were when we got away from the party and saw the outside world, mainly the changeling hive in its current state of disrepair. well, this was a pretty fantastic start to Season 7. I'm glad that we got more of a self-contained story with implications on characters to start a season, rather than a giant two-parter to deal with some new threat. I like the nods to continuity and the returning elements of the past few seasons, but unfortunately this isn't a perfect episode. I felt like Twilight had a bit of character regression and Discord seemed to be all over the place writing-wise. While I liked the character interaction, this left the animation feeling overall very flat with nothing really new sticking out. Overall, however, I'm very optimistic about what this season could be bringing to the table, and I'll be here to take a look at the good, the bad, and what I think overall about all of them. Well, most of them. Well, you guys know how my schedule is for reviewing episodes. It's all over the map. My name is Robin0928, and I will see you guys next time.
And that's why I decided to tell this all to you.
Yeah, sounds cool. So how far along are you on that episode? I need to finish like 20 title cards.
Oh, yeah, Lumi, sorry about that. I'll get those episodes sent to you right away. Sorry that I've been taking so long, you know, whole universe ending and all that.
Yeah, and then I decided to tell all this to you.
Okay, that's cool, and I'm glad you got to unload all that, but how about paying me for the pizza you ordered?
Oh, right. Let me get that to you, Joey.
And why am I still here?